yet again, this week, the 714 method was incredibly successful, right? Very, very successful. I mean, this strategy was very, very good throughout this whole week, right? So that's just by the way. Welcome back to this channel, guys, where we actually analyze the 714 method and try our best and show you what actually happened throughout the week so that you'll be able to use this same strategy the next following week, right? So that's just what we do on this channel every single week. We try our best and analyze the 714 method for you. So we are just all about profits. The reason why I'm doing this every single week is very, very simple, right? I want you guys to be confident with this strategy and learn how to actually use this strategy very, very well, right? Because I mean, come on, when you are confident with this strategy, you can use it to make a lot of money in this market, right? So that's just it, and that's just by the way. So let's look at Monday, right? So obviously, when you look at Monday, we were in a downtrend within the 714 method. We were in a very nice downtrend, right? As you can see, we are in a very nice downtrend. So if within this range right here, we are in a downtrend, what are our expectations? Now, our expectations are priced to push all the way up after this downtrend, right? Meaning we have to take out this highs right here. Those are our expectations, right? But Monday was quite very, very simple. Because why do I say that? I've always told you guys, let's try our best and look at the trend just a little bit, right? So if you had just looked at the trend, you can see that we are in a very nice yet powerful uptrend, right? But what was happening was also quite different. This wasn't just a normal uptrend, right? This was an uptrend that retraced all the way back to its initial entry point, right? Why am I saying this? So when you look at this retracement right here, that started that whole uptrend movement, right? You can see it from here. Price push all the way down from this range right here. You can see that massive sellers came in, push price all the way down. Then just after some couple of minutes, price push all the way up and respect that low right there. So it was this level right here that started this whole trend to begin with. And when price finally came to it, we broke through it, right? So this is where the analysis comes in handy, right? This is where it's very, very important for you to analyze the trend. Because when you don't analyze the trend around this time, you end up entering into a wrong trade, right? That's just how it is. Very, very simple. So what is happening within this range is a very easy one. We can all see that price actually did what? Within this range right here, we can see that price broke through, right? Price broke through with this massive buyer's candle. Price broke through that range, tried retracing. You can see it from here, just from this level right here. Price retraced all the way back with this massive candle right here, but immediately push all the way up again. We can see another retracement coming all the way back to this same range right here, but immediately again another what? Candle shows that buyers are coming in and they are coming in strong. So what we are waiting for is for price to take out this highs right here, right? For us to enter into a trade. But when price cannot take out this highs right there and it took out this lows right here, you can see it from here all the way down to this range right here. It's telling you one thing. This range is a fake out, right? Do you understand it? It's telling you one simple thing. Price just faked out this level right here. So indirectly, it's telling you the price is pushing all the way down. We are no longer coming all the way up. You can see that what sellers are coming in. How can you see that sellers are coming in? First of all, we have a nice breakout right here. So when you look below just here, you can see that that is a what? A change of character right there. Very, very easy. That right there is a change of character, right? So let me just erase this so that you actually see it well, right? So let me erase this. Very, very easy. So this right here is a change of character, and you can see the price actually came all the way up to retest it before it actually closed all the way down here. So what should be inside your mind is very, very simple. Price is pushing all the way down. We are no longer coming all the way up. We might come back and retest this high, but it won't be right now because when you look at it, the retest is already done, right? You can see it very well. The retest is already done around this range right here. So indirectly, it's telling you that there's no way price is going to just come back to this level again just to push all the way down. That's how Monday was. So what you needed on Monday was just a simple what? Analysis. When you have done your analysis, you know that price is pushing all the way down. So when you know that price is pushing all the way down, you can obviously see that around this range right here, from here all the way up to this level right here, these are a lot of buyers. So meaning there's a likelihood that this trend will try pulling liquidity from this range right here. So this is where you are supposed to do what? Target You're supposed to target within this range right here, from here all the way up to this range right here. Try your best to do what? Get as much as you can from that range when price pushes all the way back into it, right? So how could you have set up your entry? Very, very easy. When the 714 method just elapsed, the ending of the 714 method, you should have already known what was happening and you enter into your trade, right? So you could have just entered into your trade. Pretty much simple. You shouldn't have even stressed yourself because you already know what is happening. Now, because of this liquidity right here, so sorry about that. So because of this liquidity right here, right, you can see that there's a lot of sellers coming in. Very, very nice. So our stop loss should be above this range right here. So obviously, this is what we just need to do. Put your stop loss above that candle and you enter into your trade. Where should you put your first and second TP? This is a major level that price actually pushed through and it hasn't come all the way back to retest, right? So obviously we know that when price come all the way back here, there might be a retest. It's not confirmed, but there might be a retest. So what do? We put our first TP there. In any case, price comes all the way back there and retest, we are still going to have our first TP hitting, right? Our first TP is still going to hit, and we'll be looking forward to our second TP hit. But when price actually retest this level and reversed all the way back through it, we are still in profit because our second TP is already going to be at what? Break even, right? So that's how simple Monday was, right? Now, where could you have kept your second TP? Obviously, when you look at this range as well, when you look at this range right here, when you look from here all the way up, look at it, all the way up to this range right here. That's a massive level, right? You can see it, that's a massive level. When price came back into it, there are some rejections right here before price actually found support around here and push all the way up. So you can see that when price came all the way back into that range, we had a push all the way back into it, a rejection out, a push back in, and we found support right here. Price ended up breaking through that range again and found another support before we actually push all the way up, right? Very, very simple. So there's a likelihood that when price gets all the way back into this range again, it will find support. So you don't put your second TP below the discounted zone, right? I've talked about this. Below here is a discounted zone. If you are marking a level, above it is the premium and below it is the discounted zone. If you are in a downtrend, right? Or if you are marking it based on a downtrend, if it's in an uptrend, above here is the discounted zone and here is the premium zone, meaning there's a likelihood that price will reverse from this level right here as compared to this. So if your first TP is below this range right here, there's a very high chance that price will get hit. Your first TP or your second TP, which is here, that TP will get hit before even price starts to reverse, right? Very, very simple. So that's just what you needed to do on Monday. That's just what you needed to do. You shouldn't have even stressed yourself that much. So let's just go ahead and look at this trade and see what actually happened, right? So obviously, as you can see, price would have actually come all the way through and hit your first TP and your second TP. But what I want you to see is how interesting this was. Now, I've told you guys that this range right here is a discounted level, right? Very, very simple. So looking at these candles just around here, this first candle and this second candle, you see that your first and second TP could have been hit, even though your first TP was here, but your second TP could have been hit right here before even price actually tried respecting this range right here, right? You can see it. Price came all the way through before it actually respected it and had a massive push all the way back up to actually respect this range right here. If you are someone who actually look for entries again, despite you are still in a trade, so you could have just marked this range right here. In any case, price gets all the way back into this range again. Just like this nice push all the way back up, you know that this is a fair value gap that price respected. So you do what? You try your best and enter into another trade because this is a very big fair value gap. And price pushing all the way back into it means it's respecting it, right? When price is respecting this fair value gap right here, meaning there's still high chance that will hit this lows right here. Very, very simple. So you could have gotten out of your trade or you could have left the third trade to see whether price will actually push all the way down to this range right here, because that is the last low, right? Whether price will get to it. But despite you doing all this, your third TP or your third trade should be at what? Break even, right? Very, very simple. Just in case price eventually tries to push all the way up, you should already be at break even. So that was it on Monday. Monday's trade was very, very easy, very, very simple and straightforward. You shouldn't have even stressed yourself to enter into a trade, right? Now, if you're someone who actually needed confirmations to enter into the trade, this was how you could have also gotten into a trade based on Monday's strategy. All you needed was to just mark this range right here. You can see it, right? Because that was a major support level. So when price breaks through it, as you can see from here, price actually broke through it. So you either wait for price to trace all the way back into this fair value gap, or just wait for this candle to retrace back into the fair value gap. You enter into the trade because we've broken through this major range. You enter into the trade and you'll be looking forward to taking your first TP at this range right here and your second TP either here or below this range right here, right? Very, very simple. You could have also gotten into a trade like that. So let's move to Tuesday and see what actually happened. So let's look at Tuesday. Now, Tuesday was quite simple as well. I think on Tuesday we actually bought instead of selling, right? If I can remember it right. Yeah, I think we actually bought instead of selling. But let's look at it. Let's see what actually happened on Tuesday, right? So obviously, first of all, the first thing you have to do is do what? Mark your levels, right? Because that's the most important thing. I use UTC plus 0. So obviously my locations is going to be what? 11 a.m. to what? 12 p.m. right? Very, very easy and very, very simple. So let's see what actually happened during the 714 method. So when you look at it, you realize that we were in an uptrend during the 714 method. So let's retrace it, right? Let's see what happened. So price started from here, push all the way back down. We had a pull all the way up. Price came for a retest because it actually broke through this highs right here. Came for a retest and we are having a massive push again. So it's telling us that we are in a major uptrend, right? A very serious uptrend. But let's look at the trend itself before we actually start talking about we entering into trades based on this uptrend, right? So let's look at the trend because the trend analysis is very, very important. So when you look at Tuesday, before we even got to the 714 method, we were already in a massive uptrend, right? You can see we were just taking out these highs right here. A very big highs, right? That price was just trying to take and push all the way up. So very, very simple, meaning the whole day we're in an uptrend. So with the 714 method, either we are going to be in a downtrend or an uptrend. It depends on the analysis that we are going to get, right? So let's analyze it first. We can obviously see that this was our last high right here, our last order block being this. So obviously our last order block actually got hit, right? You can see it. Price came and hit our last order block, reversed all the way back down just to do what? Respect this range right here, which is an inner high, right? This is a swing high of this whole trend. So when you look at this whole trend right here, from this level all the way down to this range right here, this is an inner high within this whole swing, right? So this right here is a swing, but this is just an inner high, right? Very, very simple. So price actually hit our swing highs order block and actually reversed all the way back down just to respect this range right here before actually breaking through it. So the next question that should be inside your mind is, will price eventually keep this track of pushing all the way up, or will we come all the way back down? So what you need is a retracement back to this range. Because if you don't get a retracement back to this range, just like Monday, you are going to be in a wrong trade, which is you are going to see price push all the way up, just like this. Probably have another candle pushing all the way up, and you enter into your buy right here with your stop loss being below this range right here, and price will just immediately break all the way through it, breaking through this level right here, and will start pushing all the way down. So the whole concept is for you to wait for a retracement. If there's a proper retracement, meaning if price actually give us another bearish or another bullish candle, sorry. So if price actually give us another bullish, a very nice bullish candle, right? So we push all the way up again. We had a nice retracement back to this range. The next candle that we see, which is a very nice bearish candle, telling us that the retracement is done and bulls are coming in, we are entering into a trade, right? Very, very easy. So let's see what happened after that. So we can obviously see that price is still telling us that yes, we are pushing all the way up, but there's no retracement yet. Until right now, you can see a very nice bearish candle, right? Pushing all the way back just to respect this highs right here, right? So with this, can we say that we should enter into a trade right now? No, we should wait and see, because this is a massive candle. Now, after this candle, we have a buy candle, right? Despite this being in a sell, you can see that buyers actually won, right? But sellers came in very, very strong, right? So what you need to do is very, very simple, right? You have to learn how to read candlesticks. What do I mean by that? It's not a complex thing. This is the end of this candlestick right here, meaning that's where sellers actually entered and pushed price all the way down to this range right here, right? So any candlestick that breaks above this is telling you that buyers are coming in and they are coming in strong, right? Very, very simple. You get into your trade. If you are someone who actually enters into trade pretty fast, right? If you're an aggressive scalper, you can already be in a trade at this moment, right? But most of us, we actually wait for a confirmation. This is your confirmation. Price is pushing all the way up. Just enter into your trade. Very, very simple. Your stop loss should be below this range right here. Why is your stop loss being below that range right there? Because that is a major support level, right? This right here is a major support level, so your stop loss has to be below that major support level. In any case, price actually tries to push all the way back in and hit your stop loss, right? You still have this other block right here. So this is a very nice other block. You still have this other block right here to protect your your trade, right? Very, very simple. So that's why your stop loss should be below that range right there. Sorry about that. So that's why your stop loss should be below this range right here, so that in any case price push all the way down, this other block will actually help you, right? Very, very simple. So you could have just kept your stop loss. Now, you know for sure that price is in a very high ground, right? We are in an uptrend the whole day. So price will be looking for reversals, or price will be looking forward to push all the way down. So you could have just used a 1 is to 2. So if this is 1 is to 2, we do what? We multiply it, right? So if this is our 1 is to 2, I've told you guys, just duplicate it into 2, right? Very, very simple. You get your what? Your whole trend or your whole trade. That's it. Your first and second TP are set and you are good to go, right? You don't really have to stress yourself that much. So let's see what actually happened after that. Now, obviously, you can see that your first TP could have been hit. Your first TP could have been hit pretty easy, right? But look at the push that price actually did. Pulled all the way back, all the way into your what? Your stop loss. The reason why we actually kept the stop loss below this range is you can still see the price is still respecting that level right there, right? Despite this whole push right here, price is still respecting this range. But you can also see that there is a change of character right here. That right there is a change of character. Why is it a change of character? Because this was a very nice low right here. So when price pushed all the way up from it and came back down, pushed through it, that is a change of character. So there's a likelihood that price will pull liquidity from here and push all the way back down. So you could have already gotten out of your trade very, very easy, or because of this nice push all the way back into this range right here, you could have already known that no, by this time I should put my stop loss at what? Break even, because I don't want price to eventually push all the way back down again, just like it already did, and push me or kick me out of the trade, right? So you could have done that as well. Very, very easy. But let's see what happened after that, right? So you could have gotten out of the trade around this range right here. Even before this candle actually came in, you could have gotten out of the trade, right? So as you can see, very, very easy. This other block is still working, right? The other block is still working. Very, very easy. It's still working right there. When we put this on it, you can still see that price is still in that other block, right? But you don't really want to be in this trade at this moment again, right? What you want is an uptrend again for you to enter into a trade. So obviously we are still in a downtrend. You can see that this lows right here has been taken. So by then you have already gotten out of the trade, and what your next target will be this size right here. If in any case you have a very serious retracement that breaks through here, giving you a change of character again, then we're looking for an uptrend, right? Because you know that price is already high up, and this might just be a whole retracement, right? For before price will push all the way up. So that's just it. You can see that when price came all the way back to this high right here, we have a rejection. So meaning this right here is a major high. This right here is a very serious yet major high, right? So when price breaks through it, you can equally look for buys around this range again. As you can see, you could have looked for buys. I usually do this a lot. You enter into trades after trades after trades. I'm a very aggressive scalper, right? Very aggressive. I could have been in this trade right here, got out of this trade just around this level right here, and enter into another trade coming all the way back down to just this range right here before I get out again, right? Very simple. I'm very aggressive when it comes to scalping. So that was it on Monday 714 method. A very simple trade from here all the way up to your first TP would have been hit. Very easy. Before you have a change of character, you could have gotten out of the trade, but you know for sure that your support level was still strong. As you can see, price was still respecting that support level because there was this massive order block just below it. So you could have waited and see this nice candle right here. With this candle, you know the price wouldn't really push all the way through this level again, right? The only place price can push all the way back with this candle right here is just inside that same candle, because that's a lot of liquidity around this level. So there's a likelihood that even if price push all the way up, it will come back just to retest it and eventually take out this highs right here. So that was it. You could have been in this trade, this nice trade from here all the way up into this range right here, right? Very easy. So let's go to Wednesday and see what actually happened. So let's look at Wednesday, right? Now obviously Wednesday 714 method was also good. It was quite profitable, right? Because the trend on Wednesday was also very simple, very straightforward. This whole week we were just having some really nice trades, right? So first of all, we mark our levels as always. Is very important, right? But so let's see what happened during the 714 method. So obviously you can see that we are in an uptrend, right? A very nice uptrend all the way up, taking out this high right here, right? Before we push all the way up. So what we are expecting is a downtrend, right? A very nice downtrend. But we can also see that price did change character right here. Do you understand that? Price did change a character right here, meaning there's a likelihood that we'll continue pushing all the way up, right? But we always have to do what? Try our best and analyze the trend and see what actually happened, right? So obviously, when you look at this trend right here, what's happening with this trend? So first of all, we have this nice uptrend, a pullback, a push all the way up, and we have another pull all the way back down, right? Before the 714 method actually came in with this whole trend right here. So obviously I know this is quite messy, but just try your best and do what? Pardon me with this, right? So let's analyze what is happening with this red what movement, right? So obviously you can see that we were in an uptrend, right? When price made this massive push all the way back down to this range right here, we push all the way up. We couldn't take out this last high, meaning there's a likelihood that we are pushing all the way back into a downtrend, right? So eventually, price did came all the way back down and do what? Kick us through, meaning price has changed its level. We are no longer in an uptrend. We are now in a downtrend, right? And you can see that even the bigger trend itself, the downtrend has been taken, right? As you can see, I know it is not right or it's not straight, but just take it like that, right? We obviously see that okay, I could have used something different. So we can obviously see that even this last low right here has been taken with this nice trend all the way back down to this range right here, right? Very simple. So with this, what are we looking at? So this is what we are looking at, right? I'm sorry for this, I know it's quite fast. So this is what we are looking at. We are looking at a push all the way up, a retracement, right? A push all the way up, which couldn't get to this last high right here. And we have a massive push all the way down before this trend is now happening. So by the looks of this, what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think price is going to take out this highs right here, or we are going to take out this next low right here, right? Very simple. So obviously you can see that this was an uptrend. We're in a very nice uptrend. So let me just add this so that it will make it quite look natural. I know this is not really natural, but just take it like that's right. Very very simple. So obviously we were in an uptrend, a very nice uptrend, as you can see. Price came all the way back down and took out this last low right here. This whole uptrend, if you look at it, these lows were never taken, right? They were never taken until price took it around this range right here. And when you are in an uptrend and the higher low of that uptrend is taken, you know for sure that price is converting into a downtrend. Very, very simple. So where is liquidity going to be? When a low is taken, liquidities are at the high of that low, right? So this whole trend right here actually took out this nice low right here. So there's a chance that price will pull liquidity from this range and push all the way down. Very, very simple and very, very easy, right? So that was what was happening. That was what was happening with this whole trend right here. Very, very simple. Very, very simple and very, very easy. This right here was our change of character, right? A very nice change of character. Very, very easy. So we know for sure that there's a likelihood that price will pull liquidity from around this range right here and try its best to take out this low right here. Do you understand the concept? Very, very simple. So what we need to do is find our level above this range right here, enter into our trade. The 714 method, we are already in an uptrend, meaning it's already telling us that there's a likelihood that price will push all the way back down. Because if we're in an uptrend within the 714 method, just like this, you can see it from here. If we're in an uptrend, all we are hoping is for price to push all the way down, or that is our analysis. Except if we're in an uptrend that actually took out this high right here, then we would have been hoping for a what, a push all the way up, a retest, and we'll be entering into a what, a buy, right? Very very simple. So that was it. All you needed was to just enter into your trade if you get a confirmation, right? How could you have gotten a confirmation? So first of all, you know that this last high right here is a very powerful, yes, very, very strong high, right? And you can also see that there's a level right here with some massive pushes all the way back down. So from here all the way up, you can see these rejections happening around this range right here. So from here all the way back up to this range right here, that is one massive location that you should be what, searching for a sell. Or the next thing you should do is just try your best and see what happens around this range. If price gives you a reason for entry, you enter into a trade. If you don't have a reason for entry, just ignore it until you get a reason for entry, right? So right now, do we have a reason for entry? No, we don't have a reason for entry. Why are we not having a reason for entry? We are still in an uptrend and you can still see rejections, right? So do we enter into the trade? No. But when we move just a few steps and you look at the trend, what is happening currently? You can see that eventually price did push all the way back down and take out this low right here, right? You can see it. That's a very nice low that price actually took. But we can also see that it's now at this range right here. So will price actually respect it and push all the way back up, taking out this highs right here? Or will price actually do what? Push all the way down and take out this low right here, right? Very, very simple. So those are the two things you should be looking at before you actually enter into the trade, right? So let's see what happened. Now you can see that immediately after this whole push, buyers came in and pushed price all the way back into this range right here. So what happened next? By the looks of it, buyers actually took out this high right here. You can see it, right? Took out this high right here. So what we are looking forward right now is still the same thing. We are still not having any reason for a sell. We are not having any reason for a sell. Price is still bullish. Very, very strong bullish trend, right? If you are looking for a sell, just wait. If you are looking for a buy as well, wait until price breaks out this level right here and you do what, you enter into your buy, because with that you are now confirmed that we'll actually take out this last high right here, right? Very, very simple. So let's see what happened after that. Now just immediately after that, you can see the rejections, right? Now I've told you guys, when you mark a level, I'll continue to say this until you guys get it. This is a discounted zone if you are marking the level based on an uptrend, and this is a premium zone. There's a likelihood the price will push through this range below here before it rejects from this range. Now you can see the rejection happening from here all the way back down, right? a very serious, yes, very, very massive rejection. You could have been in this trade just like that. You could have been in this trade, or you wait because this is a fair value gap. With that massive rejection, this right here is a fair value gap. So you could have also marked this range right here. When it gets taken, that's a break of structure. That's a change of character, rather, sorry. So you can see that price did come all the way through it, and with this massive bias candle right here, you could have entered into your trade. By the looks of it right now, what are we having? You can obviously see that price pushed all the way down, pulled all the way up, came back down, had a massive push, and we have a massive rejection all the way back down, right? So all we need is just a push below this range right here, because at this moment, this is a equal low, right? These are equal lows, meaning there's a lot of liquidity below this range right here. So any candle that actually pushes through, very, very simple, just like this candle right here, we are entering into our trade. So that is your confirmation. Now we have aggressive what traders, right? We have traders who actually scalp aggressively. They could have already been in this trade with this massive rejection candle. And if you are someone who actually knew how to read candlestick patterns, you would have already been in this trade as well from here with this rejection. You would have already been in this trade. But if you needed a confirmation, this was your entry right here. Where could you have kept your first and second TP? So obviously, you know that there's a likelihood, right? There's a likelihood that price will reject from this range right here because of this serious bullish candle. You can see it's very serious push all the way up. So there's a likelihood that price will reject from there, right? So you put your what, your first TP around this level right here, duplicate it. When you duplicate it, you get your what, your second TP, right? So you can see that your second TP could have been inside this massive candle right here. So there's a likelihood that that massive candle will also reject, but you don't really care because you already kept your first TP, and if your first TP is hit, your second trade stop loss will probably be at break even, right? Very, very easy and very, very simple. That's just how it is. So first TP right here, second TP right there, and you'll be looking forward for price to break through this range right here and continue pushing all the way down, right? That's how simple what Wednesday was. You shouldn't have really stressed yourself. All you needed was to just wait, just a little bit of patience, right? So obviously, you can see that price did push all the way through, hit your first TP, and we started having a rejection from somewhere here, right? You can see that that's a massive rejection. There shouldn't be a reason why price should reject this much after this massive movement, right? So all you needed to do was to mark this range, because when price actually comes all the way back and kick through here, that would be a change of character. You're not supposed to be in this trade at this moment again. So let's see what happened after that. So we can see that there's another low given. Why do I say there's another low given? This low right here has just been taken. Another low right here has just been taken, right? So this is our last low. This is our last high right here. So all you need to do is just follow the trend, because you know that it looks like the trend is no longer trying to favor you. There's going to be a rejection, right? You see that it looks like there's going to be a rejection. So all you needed to do is either put your stop loss around this range right here, or mark this level right there. When price eventually kicks through it, then you do what? You get out of the trade. Very, very easy. So you can see that price kicked through it very, very easy, right? So you get out of the trade because you know that that's a change of character, and you're not supposed to be in a trade in a downtrend when you have a change of character pushing all the way up. That's very, very wrong. Just get out of the trade and be free, right? Very, very easy. So let's go to Thursday and see what actually happened. So let's look at Thursday, right? Now, Thursday was part of one of the easiest strategies that we actually use with the 714 method, or let me say, one of the easiest trends that we actually get with the 714 method. With this trend, anytime we get it, you already know it's going to be a simple trade, right? Which is the V trend, because Thursday, that was one of the easiest days. You shouldn't have said it that you don't actually know whether Thursday was one of the easiest days, right? So why am I saying this? Let's look at the 714 method. So obviously, when you look at it, you realize that we're in a very nice V trend, right? Why is it a V trend? Price started from here, push all the way back down to this range right here, and immediately, or just when the 714 method was going to close, we push all the way back up, fairly at that same level again, meaning there's a likelihood that either price will retrace all the way back down, kicking out this low right here, or we just have a push, a retracement, and a push all the way up, right? Very, very easy. So that was how the 714 method was on what Thursday. A very easy trade. All you needed was to just mark this range. I've told you guys, whenever you see this V trend, there's only two things that you need to do. Mark this level and mark below here. I'm sorry about that. So mark below here as well. So when price actually breaks through the high, you enter into a buy, which is you see a retracement back to that high, right? And when price finally breaks through this low right here as well, and you see a retracement back to it and a push, you do what? You enter into your sell, right? Very, very easy. But before that, let's look at the trend. What was happening on Thursday? So obviously, you can see for sure that on Thursday, this was a major low right here. When you look at it, that was a major low. That price eventually broke through. You can see that we had a retracement back to it, another retracement back to it, another retracement. When price finally broke through that low right there, we have a very nice push back inside that range, and price is pushing all the way down. So obviously we were in a downtrend, a very serious downtrend, right? So there's a likelihood that when price push from here all the way up, breaking through this range, it will be in a massive uptrend, which will probably be a very strong one, right? So all we needed to do is mark our range. Where is our last low, and why is that level our last low? So this level right here is our last low. So all we needed to do is mark this level right here. Now you can extend this all the way back to this range, and just to have a clear view of what you are doing, but it doesn't really matter, right? So this is our last low right here. So that's where we are targeting price to push all the way back into, right? That's where we are targeting price to push all the way back into, because when you look at it, we are still in a downtrend. We are not in an uptrend. And there are a lot of liquidities up here. Why am I saying that there are a lot of liquidities up there? This right here is a fair value gap, another fair value gap, another fair value gap, right? Very, very simple. And this was also a fair value gap right here. And when you look at this range, another fair value gap, meaning from here all the way back down to this range right here. When you go to a bigger time frame, like a 1 hour time frame or a 4 hour time frame, now probably 1 hour time frame or 30 minutes time frame will do. From here all the way down to this range is just going to be one massive candle, right? So meaning this whole movement will probably be just a retracement back to this range right here. So despite we not getting a bigger trade from it, or we looking at it to get just a small trade, you know where it is going, right? You know where it is going. So with this, you know how to enter into the trade, and you know how to enter into the trade back, right? Very, very easy. So this was what we were supposed to do. Wait for a candle to just tell us that we are pushing all the way up, and you can see that just like that, we had it, a very nice candle. We put all the way back into this range, put liquidity, and closed above it. So all you needed to do was to just enter into your trade. Now, this wasn't really a big trade, but the next trade that we got was actually a very nice one, because we already know price was trying to do what? Reject from this level right here, or we actually push all the way up. The two things we were waiting for was very, very simple. Either price will get into this range and reject, or price will get into this range, had a retest, and push all the way up, right? Very, very easy. That was just the two things that we needed. So all you needed to do was to just mark this range. You already know how I've been telling you guys how to do this. Your stop loss should be below this range right here. So with this trade, you could have had like 1:1 or 2:2, right? Very, very simple. But because you know price was eventually going up here, you just keep on adding in more trades until we get into that level, right? You've already seen it. Why didn't I put the stop loss, or the take profit rather? Sorry, why didn't I put the take profit here? Because this is the discounted zone. There's a likelihood that price will reverse from this range right here as compared to this range right here. So anything above here reversing through this range, that is the discounted zone, right? We are not supposed to be messing with this level right here. Very, very easy. So let's see what actually happened. So obviously you can see that your first TP could have been hit, or your final TP could have been hit, because this is where we are actually targeting, right? And we can obviously see that we are starting to reject from the discounted zone, right? I've told you guys, if there's a discounted zone and you're having rejections from there, you can get out of the trade, because This is a very strong level right here. So let's get out of the trade. All the trades you could have gotten out of the trade, very, very easy. But you could have also noted that this is a whole trend from here all the way up to this range right there. So there's a likelihood that when price breaks through this range, that will be a change of character. We might actually do what? Either break through here, pull back into this range, pull liquidity before we finally break through this level right here, right? But either way, you are already in your trade. You've gotten your nicer what price movement and you are good to go. A lot of people actually see this from here just up to this range right here, a small trade, which is never a small trade, right? If you know where price is going, even if it's two candles, just this candle right here and this candle right here, you can use it to make massive profits, right? Very, very simple. So that was it on Thursday. It was a very simple trade. You shouldn't have stressed yourself. Now, eventually, we did have a rejection from here. I traded it on Thursday. It was a massive rejection, right? As you can see, a very big one, a very big one. It was a massive rejection. Price came all the way back down to this range, broke through it. We eventually pushed all the way back down again, but that was just it. The 714 method was quite amazing, right? Very, very simple trade. So let's go to Friday and see what actually happened. So I knew I've said this already. I've said this about either Tuesday or Wednesday being very, very good, but frankly speaking, Friday was the best, right? If you had actually traded the 714 method, you know that Friday was the best. It gave us one nice yet very, very beautiful downtrend rise on Friday. Very, very simple. It was just a simple trade, not a big deal, right? So let's look at the 714 method and see what happened. Because on Friday, even before we got to it, price was just doing this nice consolidation, right? So obviously, when you look at it, you see that within the 714 method, we're in an uptrend, a very nice uptrend, very, very big one, right? So our expectations were price should push all the way back down. That was our expectations, right? But we can also see two things happening here. You can obviously see that price did take out this last highs right here and came all the way back down to do what? To respect it, right? You can see it. Price took it out, came all the way back down to do what? To respect it right there. Very, very simple. So there's a likelihood that will continue what? Pushing all the way up. So all you needed to do was to first mark this range right here. If you have a breakthrough from this level right here, that's a break of structure. You can just get into your trade and will push all the way up, right? Very, very easy and very, very simple because you know the price has already breaking through this high right here. And by the looks of it, when you look at it critically, right? Critically, when you look at this range right here, you obviously know that this was a very nice consolidation, right? So when you look at this whole range right here, you obviously know that this was a very nice consolidation with this range right here. So after the consolidation, price kick out, came back for a retest. So there's a likelihood that we'll just continue pushing. So when we break through this high, we just continue pushing, right? Very, very simple. That was should have just been your analysis on Friday, right? Very, very easy analysis. But you should have also known that when price breaks through this range, which is below here, that's also a change of character, meaning we are pushing all the way down. We are no longer going all the way up, we are pushing all the way down. So obviously, the two things you needed to do was to just mark this range as well and add, because that is a retracement back into it. You can see price retracing all the way back into that range. So when that range right there is broken and we see a massive push all the way through here, we know that there's a likelihood that price is pushing all the way down. We are no longer going all the way up, right? But for this time or at this moment, the only thing we needed to do is just wait and look at what price is going to do, because right now we could have entered into a buy because price is pushing all the way up. But we also know that when you look at a bigger time frame or when you look at it from a bigger view, you realize that we are in a downtrend, we are not in an uptrend. When you look at from here all the way up, this was a massive trend that got broken, right? So we can see that that was a massive trend that got broken. Price broke through this last lows right here. This was the last lows right here, right? So price did break through this last low. Very, very easy. So there's a likelihood that will pull liquidity from either one of these ranges right here. This is a fair value gap. We can pull liquidity from there, or this level right here, or probably this high right here and push all the way down, right? So meaning with a whole trend, we are still in a downtrend. We are not in an uptrend. despite price actually breaking through this highs right here. That's just an inner high, that's not an outer high, right? Or that's just an inner high but not a swing high, right? Very, very simple. So we are still in a downtrend, not in an uptrend. So what we are looking for is either a rejection from this highs right here, breaking through this level right here, we'll enter into a sell, or a breakthrough from here and we'll enter into a buy, right? So that was just what we are looking for on Friday. It was one hell of a nice trade, right? Very, very simple trade. So let's see what happened. Now, around this level, we did breakthrough, very, very solid breakthrough, a very, very powerful breakthrough as well. You can see it, triple rejections on top of here, right? Equal highs. When you look at just this range right there, sorry about that. Look at it. Triple rejections, equal highs before this nice push all the way down that broke through this range right here. What do you think is happening? Price is continuing to push all the way down. There's no reason you should think that price will push all the way up at this moment. No, price will push all the way down. What should you have done? You should have just entered into your trade. Very, very easy, right? An easy trade. You shouldn't have stressed yourself, but you should know that this fair value gap right here or this big candle right here, that's a lot of liquidity. So your stop loss should always be above it, because there's a very high chance that price will retrace all the way back into that range right there, right? Very, very easy. And where should you have kept your first TP? Obviously, you already know your first TP should have been below this level right here, because we are still in a downtrend. So there's a likelihood that will actually kick through that range right there, right? Very, very simple. So if you've gotten your first TP, what do? You multiply it or you duplicate it. So when we duplicate it like this, we get our what? Our second TP, right? So first TP, second TP, because we are still in a downtrend. We know that there's a likelihood the price will just keep on doing pushing all the way down, right? So let's see what actually happened. Now, obviously, your first and second TP could have been hit very, very easy. I've told you Friday was one of the best, right? But look at this right here. Look at this right here. You see this massive push all the way back. You could have also gotten into a trade around this range right here, giving you a very tiny, yes, very, very small stop loss, because that was a fair value gap and price pushed all the way back to pull liquidity before actually pushing all the way down. So very, very simple. You could have been in this trade on Friday. Now we did push a little bit down before we started having rejections and before we finally got a change of character, right? So this was it right here. A very nice change of character. Very, very nice change of character. You would have gotten out of the trade very, very easily, right? Get out of the trade. I've told you guys, when you're in a trade with this change of character, get out of the trade. Don't be in the trade again. Because the reason why you shouldn't be in this trade again is very, very simple. When you look at this range, liquidity here, fair value gap, another fair value gap from here all the way down to this range, another fair value gap from here all the way up to that level, and another fair value gap from here. So meaning it's telling you that, let's say, from here all the way down to this range right here, right? So from here all the way down to this range, there's a likelihood that this trend right here will actually push all the way back into one of these, either that this level or this level right here. So do you actually want to be in a trade when price is pushing all the way back into a place full of liquidity? No, you don't want to be in a trade when price is pushing all the way back up like that. Just get out of the trade and you are free to go. You are good to go. You are not even supposed to stress yourself that much, right? Very, very easy. You should have been out of this trade immediately. You got this nice change of character right there, because you can see that buyers were coming in and they were coming in very, very strong, right? Easy. That's just how it is. You could have gotten out of the trade, and you could have also known for sure that this is a last low that price actually took. So there's also a likelihood that price will come all the way back just to retest it and push all the way down. But do you have to risk it? No. Get out of the trade. Keep your profits. When you find another entry and you do what, you get into the trade, right? Very, very easy. So that was just it on Friday. I know this video has been a very long one, and if you had actually made it all the way down to this level right here, try your best and use the 714 method on a live account this following week. I want you to start making some serious profits with it. Try your possible best and do that. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you guys for watching.